The conversations this morning center mostly around the readiness of the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, to, of course, conduct the general elections in Nigeria next month. Now, as Nigerians eagerly anticipate the February 25th election day, there are growing concerns over two major trials: collecting of PVCs and, of course, the data extension, and also the BVAS and its use for the elections. Regarding the first, the PVC collection at various centers seems to be really slow or wrapped around a few challenges. For those who have, attempted to collect their PVCs, you will know what I'm talking about. Even if there's still a lot of calls for people to come pick up their PVCs in different parts of the country, where PVCs seem to just be sleeping at INEC offices. Now, as for the latter, the recent issue with the Osun State elections has further exacerbated the fears of some who have called for using BVAS to be scrapped. Their worries that INEC is overwhelmed with demands leading up to the elections. Now, before we proceed, let's look at what exactly the BVAS means and try to break it down for you. It is of course, bimodal voter accreditation system. That's the full name. It's an electronic device which is designed to read permanent voter cards, the PVCs, and authenticate voters using the voters' fingerprints. Now, BVAS uses different details, which include scanning the barcode or QR code on the PVC or voter's register, also entering the last 6 digits of the voter's identity number, typing in the last name of the voter by the assistant presiding officer to verify and authenticate the voter. Now, of course, so these are the moves that were made by the Independent National Electoral Commission to ensure that Nigeria has a seemingly free and fair electoral process that is, completely rid of anything fraudulent. But joining us on Election Countdown Nigeria this morning is Mr. Olusegun Agbaje. He's the resident Electoral Commissioner, INEC Lagos State, and former REC of Osun State. Thank you so much for joining us, Mr. Agbaje.
Thank you for having me.
In the last couple of months, there have been doubts. I'm going to start with this. There have been doubts, with regards INEC's capability to conduct the best, quality of elections in 2023. Do you think, INEC has been able to prove itself capable of conducting elections in Nigeria?
INEC over the years and even in the off-season elections have proved itself very well. And I believe that everything is set for this coming election. Everything is set, like I said. All materials that we need for the election, non-sensitive materials, are already with us. Even the sensitive materials, some of them, for presidential election and National Assembly, the first election, they are already at the Central Bank of Nigeria across the country. So what is remaining for us now is to train our ad hoc staff. The training is beginning this weekend with the training of the security personnel that are going to be engaged for the election. Thereafter, other ad hoc, series of ad hoc staff, their engagements will begin. So I believe that we are very much set for this election.
Yeah, so that's meant to be, INEC's stand, that they're prepared, they have their staff, they have, logistics and everything's, put in place. But Nigerians have also struggled with something that should be as simple as collecting their permanent voters' cards. I personally have not collected mine. I've made 7 attempts. I've been to Etiosa 6 times. I think the Ikate primary school one time. So 7 attempts, and I wasn't able to get mine. And I know I'm not the only person. There's, others just like me who have struggled to get theirs, made multiple attempts and were not successful. So would you say that is, also a sign of the body's failure over time? Because, PVCs didn't just get into the conversation last week. The body has had enough time to ensure that they are, these PVCs are prepared and given to each individual who wants to vote. So is that a red flag on INEC?
Not a red flag. I would say that Nigerians, some Nigerians, I would say, are also not helping INEC to do his job well. During registration, we put out a lot of information for the members of the public. If you are registered before, don't register again. If you have any challenge with your PVC, either you are transferring, the PVC is defaced, is lost, that we have another module to be able to get you another card. But don't register again for the second time. Many people, like in the solo, over 1,000 people did multiple registration. They cannot get PVC if they go there 100 times. They can't get PVC. The Commission has always made this stand known. So again, we have some issues from the factory at the initial stage. When PVCs were brought here, some were omitted. We are asked to upload this all online to Abuja. And last week, Monday, we brought about 29,000 PVCs to Lagos. And this last Sunday, 2 days ago, I came from Abuja and we came about 7,000 PVCs. So anybody who cannot get out of this, I think there must be a problem somewhere. Then if you go to the collection area, I was at Okota about 2 weeks ago, and I was shocked about what I saw. Somebody will come in, instead of just giving us his slip, somebody will make photocopies of that slip, about 6 copies, and give to, and then maybe somebody has already found the card, taken to the next table where the person is okay. Meanwhile, the person has left the scene. He will not even come back for 1 day or 2 days, will not return. Meanwhile, the other people are checking for the same card that has been found. And then they will put NF that is not found. It cannot be found because it has been found and taken to the collection table. And the person is not outside there to come and collect. So these are part of the challenges that the Commission has been facing. So Nigerians do also contribute. But when you say readiness, you have to look at the percentage of those who got and percentage of those who are yet to get.
Yeah.
So that is when you take that's when you take your conclusion from. You cannot just look at those who have gotten and those who have not gotten.
No,
as at today in Lagos, we have done about 89.3%. As at Friday last week, and many people have even gotten their cars after that. There is no day. Yesterday, we had about 12,000. At the peak of the exercise, Lagos State had about 40,000 PVCs collected in 1 day. But now the pressure is going down.
It's reducing. All right, Mr. Agbaje, we're going to get back to you, because I would like to have a further conversation on multiple registrations. A person getting registered twice. I did a transfer, but we'll get back to it. Stay with us. We, of course, will take a short break. When we come back, election countdown continues.
My name is Tokwe Bilu, and I will not sell my vote, and I'm also imploring and begging the general member of the public not to also sell their votes for peanuts.
Hi, my name is INEC Lagos Johnson. I won't sell my right, I won't sell my vote for any reason.
My name is Martins. Okay, I will not sell my vote. My vote is my right. My vote is my power.
My name is Esther Ogunaike. My vote is my right. I can never sell my vote.
Okay, I am Afolashade Oyediro. My vote is my right. I will never sell my vote.
I no go sell my vote. My vote is my right. My right is my right. Don't sell your vote. Don't sell your rights.
Welcome back to Election Countdown Nigeria, 25 days to the elections, and we are discussing this morning INEC and its preparedness and its readiness actually to conduct the presidential elections in 2023. The focus this morning is, of course, on certain things like PVC collection and the use of the BVAS system. We're still speaking this morning with Mr. Olusegun Agbaje, who's a resident Electoral Commissioner at Lagos State. Now, let's get back into it, but before we move on, I want you to quickly touch on something. You made mention of people doing multiple registrations, and when you do that, you would not get your PVC. So if I go to a website like LinkedIn, for example,
because it is assumed that the machine already assumes that you already have one PVC. So if you did one in 2011 and you come to Lagos now, you seem to have forgotten that you did one before, because the first thing they will ask you when you get to the registration point is, have you registered before? So it's now the host on you to say yes or no. But if you say no, then they assume you have not done the registration before.
Yeah, but what I was saying, because I feel like these are things that INEC should also improve on. If I go to a website like LinkedIn and I try to open a new account with information that I had put there before, it's going to tell me that there is also already an account that has these names or these bits of information.
We also have that. Many people will continue to deny that they have not done it before.
Okay.
But by the time you get back to the end user, they will tell you, say, no, this person is already on the system.
Well, anyway, let's move on. Now, let's talk about BVAS properly now. The Osun State elections, of course, have been criticized, with the tribunal's decision that Adeleke did not win. And of course, he has been asked, that his certificate of return be taken back from him. He will appeal, we'll see how this turns out. But that ruling casts some doubt about the use of the BVAS system. So I want you to share your thoughts on it, and if people are right to have fears that the BVAS system may not be completely fail-proof?
I want you to cast your mind back to where we are coming from and where we are going to. All these things are incremental improvement in what INEC is doing. And BVAS is not a device for maybe like electronic voting. It is just for accreditation. It does nothing than to accredit that this person coming is the rightful owner of this card, and that the card is bringing is just the same thing that our previous machine was also doing. So the only difference is that if your thumbprint cannot be authenticated, then it turns to the facial to show that you are really the owner of that. So that is the only job it does. So it has nothing to do with it. People should not confuse it with electronic voting at all.
No, so there's a possibility that people can still vote multiple times.
There's no possibility. By the time we analyze this to go forward, there is no way that malpractice is inside it.
Okay.
Either from the side of the politician or from the side of the adopter.
Yes.
So it could be from either side. Because if you accredit you are entitled to only one ballot paper. And you go there to go and cast your vote. But we have seen instances where some people are known, we come with multiple ballot paper because nobody is inside the cubicle with them. And instead of dropping one, since they are folding it, they could drop 2 or 3. It's an area that the Commission is already interrogating because the Commission is also not happy that about 500 people, maybe elderly people, pregnant women, early in the morning coming to cast their vote, and because of 1 or 2 excess, and then because of that, you say you cancel the entire system of that place. So the Commission is designing another model. It will not be possible for this coming election, but 2027, definitely this issue will be addressed.
All right, we'll see how that plays out. But let's quickly hear from Governor Adeleke and, of course, his response to the tribunal's ruling.
Good people of Osun State, we have all heard the split judgment of the governorship election tribunal. 2 members of the tribunal delivered 2 opposing judgments. The chairman and the member 1. The member 2 did not deliver any judgment. She abstained. The chairman's judgment affirmed the claim of overvoting, while the member 1's judgment agreed with our position as captured by the BVAS machine as the primary source of accreditation, data of true accreditation on the day of the election. The reality of my election as the governor of Osun State is captured in the member 1's judgment. The claim of overvoting in the chairman's judgment was unfounded. This was clearly a miscarriage of justice. I repeat, this was clearly a miscarriage of justice. Based on the above, there was no majority judgment. I repeat, based on the above, there was no majority judgment. My good people of Osun State, I am still your governor. I have the right of appeal on the chairman's judgment, and I have instructed my lawyers accordingly. You gave me your mandate. Our election remains valid, and by the grace of God, we will triumph at last. I call on you all to remain calm and go about your normal activities peacefully. Please remain law-abiding. We have strong faith in God and in our judiciary. God bless you all. God bless Osun State. And God bless the Federal Republic of Nigeria. I thank you all.
Yes, the Executive Governor of Osun State, Ademola Adeleke, they're addressing citizens of the state and, of course, Nigerians after the tribunal ruling stating that he, will, of course, didn't win the election. Now, we're still speaking with Mr. Agbaje. 2023's elections are, for a lot of people, one of the most important decisions that they would make, determining the future of the country. And so you would understand the fears that they have as to the sanctity of the elections and INEC being able to ensure that there is minimal fraud or can I say zero amount of electoral fraud. Do you?
This judgment has not shown any fraud.
Well, I mean,
that is the part of first.
Maybe calling it fraud, might be a little harsh, But if there is a possibility of overvoting,
yes,
it shows, that there's still that chance. And this Osun State elections, are just.
And that is why the electoral law says that where you have overvoting, is to also let politicians know that this attitude of wanting to do overvoting will not count, and that. In fact, the BVAS is, like I told you, his job is accrediting. It has nothing to do with overvoting or voting. But it's to let us know. So at the end of the day, we know 500 people voted in this polling unit. If anything, it can be less. Because when people might go to the polling unit, inside the booth, and not even do anything on the ballot paper and just drop it and go out again. It depends on their own choice. Yeah. But at least they cannot, but it should not be higher. That is what the law says.
What would you suggest that needs to be done
One of the ways the commission is interrogating is looking at the possibility of getting maybe each state to find a way of stamping the various ballot papers. It is quite huge. Lagos State, we have over 7 million, so you cannot expect me to sign 7 million papers for the election. But the commission will definitely define, if it is double stamp, that will be only held by the commissioner or his lieutenant, that will be used to stamp that thing. So at the end of the day, when we see one that is not stamped, we know this is illegal and can be removed. Instead of cancelling the entire vote in that polling unit, then the commission can just remove it and then the counting will go.
Yeah, you were resident electoral commissioner in 2018.
Yes,
yes. Would you have suggested that? Were there issues that you noticed then that have been solved between that time and now?
Yes, at least largely security was quite good in the area. That what happened that time was that many of our ballot boxes were seized, and according to the rule, where the difference between the winning candidate is not up to the margin of people registered in the area that could not vote, it is assumed that if those people have voted, they could have swayed each side. That was the law that was applied that time.
Okay.
So, but this time around, I think there was not. They still have one or two snatching of ballot paper, but we didn't significantly.
It's not strong enough. Now let's quickly talk about the extension that INEC has given to people to still go on collect their PVCs. Yes. There's many Nigerians that still feel like there needs to be more time. Would you say that is the normal Nigerian character, of delaying?
I would say it is part of it, but then the commission has a duty to perform, and because this coming election is different from other elections. Mm-hmm. In the sense that before the election comes, the commission must come out with the number of PVCs collected each polling unit. And I've told you 176,000 polling units in the country. So each polling unit, PVC must be counted across the country and then delivered to next week. So harvested by every state and part of the national quotas for them to make a national announcement, unlike before. So we have to do that. As we are doing that, we are configuring our BVAS, we are doing other things, training is going on. So apparently, the same people that are to be trained are people giving out the PVCs. So there must be a stop to it so that people can do other things in readiness for the election.
Is there a possibility that there might be a postponement?
No, because this 1 week that you're having is already shrinking us. The commission, but because the commission is encouraging...
Is there a possibility of postponement of the election?
No. We are ready for the election. Like I told you, even the sensitive materials for the presidential election is already here in Lagos, in Central Bank. So if the materials are... That is the most important aspect. The BVAS, in Lagos State, we have 13,325 polling units. All the BVAS we need are already with us. Even including the redundancies in case of any defaults that we may have. So they are already here. So what is... I told you, this weekend, training of security personnel that are going to be deployed will take place. The Commissioner of Police with us, we are handling that. And then by next week, we will start making an event for the training of ad hoc staff, starting from the SPOs to the other categories of ad hoc staff.
Is there a thing that excites you the most about these particular elections? Because, we've not seen 93 million, before. So are there certain parts of the 2023 election that you've seen compared to previous elections in 2014, 2019 that, give you hope that things are getting better?
Well, one thing Nigerians have to realize is that when Nigeria is doing election, it is a very big issue. In West Africa, we have 15 countries. Out of this, Nigeria has 93.4 million registered voters. The remaining 14, they have 73 million registered voters. In Lagos State here, we have over 7 million registered voters. Sierra Leone has between 3.5 and 4 million. So when you look at that, that is why you see international community, other parts of the world, also trying to see what is going on in Nigeria, because Nigeria cannot afford not to get it right. It is very, very important that this election must be properly done and must go well. Nigerians must also claim it as their own election. We need all Nigerians, the civil society, they are partnering with us. The various party leaders, they are partnering with us. Next week, we are meeting with party leaders in Lagos State. We are meeting with the CSOs. Today, in our office, we are meeting with traditional rulers in Lagos State. So all these ICS, the security agencies, and INEC, we are meeting next week, Tuesday. So all these are lined up. So when you have all these activities to be performed, to get people to be informed of what INEC is doing, that is part of transparency, which you need to show in this election. Because when people believe in what you are doing, even when things are done wrongly, they will still believe that that mistake must have come from one way or the other. They will still applaud you. But when you are hiding things from them, then they feel that something is wrong somewhere. So that's why we are open, we are transparent, and I've told people of Lagos State that they should entertain no fear. We are going to ensure that all parties are given the same opportunity to defend themselves and to do their job. And we are also appealing to party leaders, especially their supporters, that they must take things easy in Lagos State. We don't want any violence in Lagos State this time around. And people must key into that agenda. Yeah. So that is what we are concerned with.
Okay. Of course, if you're watching, we have a running poll on Twitter. If you can check our Twitter page, tweet at us with your reaction to the question. It simply is asking, should INEC use bimodal voter accreditation system after the Osun State overvoting reports? It's a Twitter question. Vote and let's know your thoughts. You may also want to, drop a comment if you have other views that you would like to share with us. Now, I also want to bring in questions, and suggestions that I've heard in the last couple of days. People say that PVC collection should not be a one-time thing that happens just a few months of the election and all of that. It should be a year-long process.
The Commission agrees too, but like I said, look at where we are coming from. In the past, maybe two weeks to election, you quickly do registration, get one paper or the other, then go for election. But as the world is improving technologically and everywhere, Nigeria too has to develop along that. We are going to get there. I've gone to serve election in just a small country, the Republic of Ireland, and there was no security agents in any of the polling units I visited on election day. No party agent at all. All of the elections were ahead. The most important part of it is that around 10 p.m. when they finished the election, the hall where we were to finish with them, we had about 6 polling units. They did the collation and everything, binding the boxes and putting them together at the center of the hall. And the officials left, leaving only just one man, the supervisor. We asked him, Mr. Supervisor, what are you going to do with these ballot boxes? He told us there's a lorry going around to collect them, and I will take them to the warehouse. Tomorrow morning, Saturday, 9 o'clock, the party agents will come and they will do the counting and say, wow, we'll get there one day. So that is a country. Today, they don't believe in even electronic voting. It's just simple accreditation, and then you go and do your voting.
Okay. There's also been, I think I may also want to just throw this in, there's also been, seemingly heated conversations, in the Lagos State elections. There have been some tribal, there have been some...
I've told you there have to be. Lagos State has over 7 million voters, more than what Sierra Leone has, just half of that. So everybody's attention will be in Lagos here. But I've told them, even with people that are saying, give me an example of one local government. We have 20 local governments in the state, and when we went to the world, we have 245 registration areas for wards in Lagos State. Just give me one example where somebody got there and say because you are from a particular region, you will not get your PVC. Yes. When you are registering, we call people from the north, from the east, from the south, from the west, come and register. Now that they have come, how will not? And like I told you, if over 89.3% have collected their PVCs in Lagos, and that was as at Thursday last week, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, they have also collected. So by the time you add this, you see that our figures, the remaining PVCs are going down.
Yes, and talk also about security and the requirements that you think INEC would need to conduct elections in Lagos and across the country.
Yes. Well, let me talk about Lagos, where I am based.
Yes.
Because we have very good synergy with Commissioner of Police, with the HSSS, with the Commander and Civil Defense, and all the other heads of security agencies in Lagos State. Like I told you, we are meeting next week. And apparently, we are going to also look at the areas where we think we are having challenges. INEC will say its own. Security agencies also advise us on other areas where they are doing. But we believe that they are going to do more to ensure, because the duty of INEC is to conduct election. These other partners of ours are to secure the environment to enable the election to hold. So with the assurances, especially from the CP, every time we talk, we still spoke yesterday about 2 or 3 times, all the assurances we are having is that the police is ready. And since he is the lead agency in also galvanizing the other agencies, I believe that other agencies are also ready. We are going to see the readiness next week when we meet.
Okay, all right. Looking forward to it. It's 25 days to go, and thank you very much, Mr. Olusegun Agbaje, who's the resident electoral commissioner, INEC, here in Lagos State. We'll take a short break, and when we come back, conversations continue here on Election Countdown Nigeria. Welcome back to Election Countdown, and this morning we are speaking with Mr. Olusegun Agbaje, who is the resident electoral commissioner, INEC, here in Lagos State. The conversation, of course, continues. Now, let's move into talking about in the last few weeks, we've seen 1 or 2, maybe more, videos of allegations, of INEC officials demanding, this is on the smallest level, demanding money to collect your PVC. There's one that went viral a few days ago in Enugu State. If these things are confirmed to be true, then it basically shows that there is some, failure with regards to the character of persons that represent INEC in different parts, of the country. Not everybody, maybe a handful, maybe just a few. But this also will transcend into the level of trust that people would have in, people as high up as resident electoral commissioners, just like yourself across the country. And so, can INEC as a body confirm to Nigerians that their staff will not be cajoled or put under pressure by politicians to in any way sway the elections in their favor?
Thank you very much. I was listening to a radio program this morning where it was said that the public affairs officer in Enugu State has already debunked that story, that not the story as a whole, but that the person shown is not an INEC staff. But they are investigating how the person came about having PVC in our custody. So apparently, we should allow Enugu State to react at the appropriate time. They are investigating, but they have confirmed that the person, that lady, is not an INEC staff. But we are investigating how she came about PVC that she claimed to be given out to members of the public.
Isn't that a bigger problem? The possibility that random Nigerian would have hundreds or thousands of PVCs.
That's why you have to know whether number one, we have to be sure that even the PVC that he was distributing is also not fake PVCs. So investigation will unravel that. We are not too sure. There is anything can happen by anybody, particularly in this area of social media. So many things have been turned around. There was a time that they said in the street of Lagos, street of Abuja, PVCs has thrown all other the places. The PVCs belong to Igbos and Yorubas, and so on and so forth. By the time we sent the message to our ICT was able to generate and also come out with the name of the person that did that thing, also based in Enugu, a journalist based in Enugu. I've forgotten his name now. And we passed it, and the SSS sent it to their command in Enugu. They arrested the man, brought him to the office, asked us, how come? He said they posted it to me. But you say you are a journalist. How can you, a journalist, see something and you just started sending it virally without even investigating the authenticity? So the case, but they released him on administrative bail. The case is still on. So these are type of things that we also have. And when you see different people should not just believe one story as they see it. They have to really, like about 2 weeks ago, so many videos are going about Akota and Jibu. I went there myself and I saw it was quite a huge crowd. But like I told you, part of the problem was caused by the people. When you call them to come out, they will have left the scene. And they will have left papers about 4 or 5. And people will be looking for those papers, they will not find them, and then delaying others to be attended to. So all this, we also created part of the problem.
So from what you're saying, there is, Nigerians should not have any fears that INEC officials and INEC staff, can be either bribed or bought over.
They should see INEC as their own. If you don't have a father there, you have a brother, you have an uncle, you have a friend, you have a sister. So they are all Nigerians who are working there. And the way we work is we encourage our staff not to allow themselves to be unnecessarily pressed down by members of the various political parties. They may have pressure, but it is their duty to be loyal to Nigeria and to the Commission. If you are loyal to this Federal Republic of Nigeria, you will not do any hanky-panky. You will not do things that will jeopardize the interests of your commission where you are working for, taking your salary and allowances every month. I think people also have to be continuously talked to.
I mean, but it's expected loyalty. It's not like these persons pass through any type of high-level screening. The loyalties that you're speaking of now are simply the expected loyalty because, well, be a good person, know that you should be loyal to your country. But but INEC, don't you think INEC should be able to do proper screening of the people who get into those positions?
Well, I know those who are in positions of either resident commissioners, national commissioners, or the chairman of the commission. They were properly screened by security agencies before they got to that position.
Yeah. Safety of youth corpers that will be participating in the electoral process.
That is why the coordinator of NYC in Lagos is a member of ISES in the state, because that is our own responsibility to ensure that our people are secure, and that is the matter she will bring to the table when we are meeting next week. Like I said, all the various agencies are going to be there. She's going to be there. These Nigerians who are serving in Lagos, they are also they may be coming from other parts of Nigeria, and they are also our children, sister, brother, sister, friends, and all of us must take care of them. Their security is paramount to the commission, because without seeing them, they are almost about 80 to 85%, if not 90% of the staff we use for election in Nigeria.
Yes.
So when you look at that, and then you know that they need to be taken care of, they need to be protected by every segment, because some people have come from Kaduna, from Calabar, from Enugu, so even from Osogbo, and so to come and work in Lagos. So if they are meant to come and serve in Lagos, if they are serving their fatherland, I think everybody should be happy with them and make sure that no harm comes near them. And that is the position of the commission on all IDOC staff. Either you are NYC, you are other government worker, or you are even security agents who are working on election day. We feel for their own security, yes, and our own personnel too, and even the voters, journalists, CSOs, observers, both foreign and domestic. We care for all of them, and the security agencies also care for all of them.
All right. Mr. Olusegun Agbaje, thank you so much for your time this morning, and we look forward to seeing you again either before or after the elections to share more of these conversations.
Thank you. It's a pleasure being with you.